y'all, Bridget Bartlett here. So, today I'm going to continue our series on creating a website that works for you like an employee 24/7. On Monday, we talked about how to create a website from a template and from scratch. Yesterday, we talked about how to add a form and a chat widget to your website to start collecting leads. Now, today, I'm going to show you how to create an automated follow up process so you ensure your leads are contacted right away with the information they were requesting when they submitted the form on your website. So, this also ensures you never have leads and opportunities falling through the cracks. If you're doing this all manually, you will 100% have that happen. So, if you've missed any of the previous training, you can check out the playlist in the description of this video, or you can go to my YouTube channel, just search Bridget Bartlett and go to the playlist, and you'll find this whole playlist there. Okay. So, this is what we are going to talk about today. All right. So just showing you the entire process. Of course, our website is we are educating our lead on our business. We are encouraging them to fill out a form so that they can contact us for something free or a quote or a discovery call or to add them to our newsletter, whatever your call to action is. We want to have a form for them to contact us. And then, of course, we want to follow up with them. And that's what we're going to talk about today. Now, tomorrow, I'm going to talk about what to actually do once the initial onboarding, once you've sent them the information that we're going to create today. What do you do after that? How do you nourish those leads? That's what we're going to talk about tomorrow. Okay. So let me go ahead and exit out of all of this. And you'll see here, going back to our training yesterday, I'm going to go ahead and pull up the marketing agency website here. This is the template that we used. And you'll see if they click here, they're going to fill out that form. And then we told it what to, where we wanted it to go to the thank you page. But what do we do with that information? Okay. So what we want to do now is create the automation. All right. So I'm going to go ahead to the automations inside of HighLevel. And if you are not a HighLevel member yet, I highly encourage you. It'll save you hundreds of dollars a month with all of your marketing tools in one. Go to bridgetbartlett.com. Go ahead and sign up for a free 30-day trial. You can also check out all of my bonuses there, which are ginormous. All right. So inside of the automations tab, I'm just going to create a new workflow. I'm going to go to continue. Now, this is actually super, super simple. I told you yesterday, there is a really easy way to kind of forward this information, but it's better to do this in a workflow and you'll understand why. Okay. So I'm going to say new lead. That's what I'm going to call this workflow here, just so I know what it is. And our trigger is what we need to start the system. Okay. What is going to happen to make this workflow start working? All right. So I'm going to click here and you see we have lots and lots of options like birthday reminder, when a contact change, and so on. But we actually just want when they fill out a specific form. So I'm actually going to search form and you'll see right here, I have form submitted. Now, if I was to leave it like this, any form inside my whole account would be triggered by this, but I actually want to trigger this when they fill out a specific form. So I'm going to go to form is, and I'm going to choose the form that we created yesterday, which is called basic form. Okay. So now what's happening is anytime that they fill out that form, whatever I put down here is going to happen. All right. Now, typically, I like the first step of my workflows to be a tag. I like to know very easily where all of my contacts are coming from. You can also trigger automations based on the tag. So if I was to add a tag right here, and this tag was, we're just going to call it website lead. Okay, so I don't have a tag called this. So if I don't have one, then I can just add a new one here. Okay. So I'm adding this tag, website lead, and that's going to tell me every single time I have a contact that comes in and has this tag that it came through this automation. Okay, they filled out this specific form, and now we're tagging them with this. Now, I could have a completely separate automation workflow when this tag right here gets added, that it triggers that workflow. But I'm not going to do anything complicated like that right now. I am just simply trying to create a basic follow-up workflow. Okay. Even if you don't think that you'll use tags or you're like, I don't even know what tags are for or whatever, just trust me when I say add the tag and you will thank me later. Okay. So now the next step here is, of course, just like the tag, this is not a required step, but I love to use the note feature and add specific notes to let myself know. And when we go into the profile of the contact, you'll understand why. But I love to add a note here just to let me know that this lead went through this pipeline or this workflow. So I'll say, this lead filled out the form on the website. Now, you may have more specific information that you want to add here, and you can even make this dynamic. So, if I wanted to say this lead filled out a form on the website, and I wanted to kind of maybe I wanted to add their first name, or I wanted to add any of the information from the form that they filled out, I could actually just add that to the notes section if I wanted to. But again, just to keep it simple, I'm just going to say this lead. We could at least fix it grammatically there. This lead filled out the form on the website. Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead and save. Again, not required, but it's one of those things that you'll thank me later. Okay, so the next step here is obviously to send an email. Now, I'm not even to the point yet where I'm going to send an email to the lead. All right. What I like to do, especially if you're a brand new high level member, and you're kind of testing out your system and you're not really sure if all the automations are working correctly, what I like to do is tell people to go ahead and send yourself an internal notification. Okay. So internal means that it's a member of your team. Okay. So we can either send that by email, a browser notification, or even a text. So if you wanted to send a text message to yourself or a team member to say, hey, you have a new lead that filled out the form on the website, or maybe you're building this for a client and they're very non-techy and you just want to make it very easy for them to, call back. You could even put instructions in the message if you want to tell them exactly what to do now with this lead. There's so many things that you could do. Typically, I would just choose an email. And then, of course, we can say, where do we want it to come from? So I'll just say that. And then I'll just choose my email address. And now I want to choose the team member. So who in my account do I want to notify when we have a new lead or a new person who submitted this form? Obviously, if this is like a quote request for a business, then this is it's pretty important that we get back to them, right? Or the business owner, they definitely need to get back to them as soon as possible and get that information. All right. So we could choose all users. We could assign a user. We could choose a custom email if we want it to go to someone else, or we could choose a particular user on our account. Now you see here that I have like some demo users here. So I'll just say demo user number one, I want to notify every single time we get a new lead that has submitted the form on our website. Okay. Now, this is an internal notification. So in the subject line, I maybe want to put something like to capture their attention. Okay. I could say like action required here. This is something I like to do. Or we could even do like a little emoji here, like to celebrate because we got a new lead. So let's do that little fancy target symbol. There we go. So we'll say you have a new lead. We could even use a custom value and say, demo user, you have a new lead, demo user number one. And then here we just want to type in the message. And remember, this is internal. So we could just say, hey, whatever. We could use the auto tag here. Hey, contact, first name. You have a new lead. And if I wanted to send the lead information, remember yesterday I said there is the autoresponder option. So when they submit the form, you can just type in an email and it will automatically send that data there. But this is actually the best way to do it because you have more control over this. So if I did want to utilize that information and forward that in this way inside of my workflows, I could just do something like name, and let me do email because that's the information that we collected on the form. So I'm going to say name, and then I'm going to go up here to my custom values, and I'm going to just type in full name. Okay. So whatever was entered there, it's going to be sent to the user. Okay. So I'm going to say now we're going to go to the contact email. Okay. So let's say contact email. And actually, this wouldn't be contact first name. This would be the user. So let's go. contact user first name. There we go. So, hey, user first name, you have a new lead. And then we would say name, contact. And of course, if we collected any other information, we could do that. I could even say to respond, go to your conversations tab. This is what I did when I had my lawn care business and I wanted to forward information to my husband, who's not very techy. I would literally forward this information to him and I would tell him exactly what he needed to do to follow up with this person. So I'd say to respond, go to your conversation tab and add the appropriate tag to their profile. Okay. So this would be like in this case, maybe something they need to manually review. For example, in our lawn care business, we would have to manually look at the property and decide what price we wanted to send. And then we would add a tag according to that plan. So if I was going to do that, I would say maybe I want to keep like add a description of the tags, right? So I would say like tag plan one for $65. Okay. I'll say tag plan two for uh, $45. Okay, so whatever you want to do, right? I'm just really just giving you some super cool examples from my own use cases of things that really, really help business owners who are not techie. Okay, we want to set this up so that they use it and they use it because it's making their life easy. All right, so that's my speech on all of that. So we're going to basically put anything in here that we want to relay this information to the team member who has, who we want to take care of this from this point on. So that's an internal notification. So now we're at a point where we could actually send an email, right, to our lead. So I'm going to say send an email. And now, of course, we can choose, the from name. We could also choose if we wanted to, like the account name, and then it would basically override that with whatever the name is of the account. And then same thing, we could choose the account email address if we wanted to. And then we want to choose a subject line. Now, this is the part that really trips everybody up. Okay, what do I say? All right, how do I do this? What do I say? I'm so confused. Well, if you're a member of our program, let me get here first. Inside of your membership area, if you go into the learning tab and you go to tools and licenses, you will see if you scroll down to Vision AI content, let it load. Here we go. We'll go to Vision AI Content Creator. If you click there, you're going to go to our content tool. Okay. So I actually was sorting through this. You have all of these options. Okay. These are just free for you to use as a member. But if you search for email, you'll see that we have lots of tools that will help you generate the email copy. You can even do like webinar landing page email, Facebook ads generator, Black Friday, Cyber Monday, cold emails, referrals, abandoned cart, and so on. But if you are doing like where they opt in for something, like on your website, or it's probably the first time that they've ever contacted your business, so you don't have their email address, so I would say create a welcome email series. So, what we want to do is just put in our business name. So, let's see what it gives us in return. So, I'm just going to say my vision agency. That's my business. Let me spell it right. What is your product or service? So, I'm going to say I teach business owners how to save time and money with automation. Actually, let's just say, I think I'm getting way too techy. I'm going to say uh, HighLevel. Let's just say that's our tool or our product and service, and your audience's end goal by buying your product. Okay, so here's where I would say to save time and money with automation. All right, now I'm going to click submit and it's going to give me a welcome series email. All right. So now you see I have the subject line up here, and then I have dear customer's name. Congratulations on your recent purchase of HighLevel from my Vision Agency. We're thrilled to have you on board. Da 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 da. So it goes into the details here. Here's what to expect. So obviously you want to change this according to your own business, but this is going to give you some ideas. Okay, so here's how to break it down, right? So email one, day of purchase. Within moments of purchasing HighLevel, you'll receive an email, da 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 da. All right. So you can generate your email sequences, all right? And you can put in that content. If I just wanted to copy this, and do not copy and paste this, okay? I'm just going to tell you, do not copy and paste this. You want this to make very specific sense to your business. And honestly, if this were me, I would want to teach this tool all about my business and everything. And you could do that with your own account of Formwise. But if you just need a place to start, and if you're just looking for like universal like templates and ideas, this is such a great resource for you guys. Okay. So I'm just going to, for the sake of time, I'm just going to paste that in there. Actually, let's do, instead of pasting it like that, let's paste it like it actually wanted it. All right. Delete, and let's paste. Okay. So we would definitely want to adjust the format where it says customer name. You guys, we can just use the custom values. I'm going to go up here to contact. Let's just put customer name there. And congratulations and da 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 da. And we want to edit all this. We want to make it like really good. Okay. And save action. All right. So we need the subject line. Let's just go back here. Let's go to welcome and go back to our email. I'm going to add the subject line there and save. Okay. So typically what you'd want to do is at least maybe 3 emails that you send in like your onboarding series. And the goal of that, you don't have to, create these big elaborate emails, but the goal is just to make sure that they understand how to get whatever it is that you are offering and what to do with it. Like, how is it helpful for them? If it's a quote, tell them about your business in email number 1 and ensure they know how to approve the quote. And email number 2 and 3, maybe you want to talk a little bit more about your business, your mission, your offers, share some customer testimonials, things like that. You don't really have to overthink this and make it this big, elaborate, like well-written thing, right? And most times people will just see a long email and they just will close out of it and not even read it anyway. So just make sure that you are just being to the point in your emails and just sharing the value that your business provides. So after we have sent that first email, the obvious thing is we need to wait, right? I would say wait a day. So I'm just going to choose a wait step here and I'm going to say wait. Now, the next day, we're obviously going to send another email. Okay. Now I could use an AI tool to write it if I really need to. Or I could actually, if we want to, I can copy all of the actions from here. And then I can just paste that. And now you'll see I have an email, await, an email, await. I could even do this again if I wanted to copy all of those and paste. Okay, so now I have even more. So I'm going to just delete this because this is going to be the last email in this series. Okay, so far they're filling out the form. We're adding a tag, we're adding notes, we're sending an internal notification to our team member. We are sending an email to our lead. We're waiting a day. We're sending another email. We're waiting a day and we're sending another email. Now, I'm going to go ahead and save this and we're going to test it out. And tomorrow, because I know you guys are thinking, because I get this question all the time, well, what happens though after like the series is done? How do you follow up with them? How do you just add emails to the series? And that's what we're going to talk about tomorrow. Okay. I want to really show you some really cool ways that you can send those, update emails like a newsletter, and you can move these leads along in the your sales pipeline. Okay. So let's go back here now that we've built out our automation, and I'm going to go to the actual website and let's pull this up and do a test. Okay. So I'm going to go back here because you should never, ever launch your system if you've never tested it. So I'm going to click here and I'm just going to put in test, and let's choose test at gmail.com. All right. And I'm just going to click the button. So now we should go where we said we wanted it to go, which did happen. Okay. So far, so good. Our testing is good. Now what I want to do is I want to go back to my contacts, and you'll see that my contact has been entered in there. Okay, so here is my test contact. And when we click in here, you'll see that, first of all, the email is marked invalid. So we automatically know, okay, this is not a good email address. That is so, so important, especially if you're running paid ads and things like that. You'll see that the website lead tag is added to the profile. Remember that step that we added in that workflow, that we wanted this lead tag to be added there. You can also see any campaigns that this lead has been through or different opportunities. You could also see maybe some additional information if we had that there. Also, over here, what's really cool is you can see any conversations that you've had. Now, within HighLevel, you can connect your Google My Business, Instagram, Facebook. You can receive recordings of phone calls that you can make through the HighLevel dashboard, any text messages, like I said, emails, any of that stuff. You can see all of the conversations here in this one conversation tab. So if Test contacts you and says, "Hey, I submitted a quote request, 2 days ago, and I never got a response," you can come in here and you can see, oh, they entered their email wrong and it bounced. Okay, so that's why they didn't get that. You could also click here and check out the details, and you can see that an email was sent to this email. It's red because it's invalid. You can see that when it was sent, the automation workflow that it's in, and you can also see that it was marked as failed. What's really cool is if I needed to assign a user of my team to this lead, I could do that here. And I could also add any followers to this lead that I wanted to here. I could mark as unread or read here, and then I could also sort through the filters if maybe I'm looking for a specific conversation or an invoice or something like that with this lead. All right. So here, I love, love, love this area here because this tells me every single action this lead has taken on any of my websites. So you can see here that this lead visited this page first. If I click this page, it shows me right here, right? So that's where the lead went first. And it was at 2:20 p.m. on January 31st is when this lead went there, right? So also, we have, again, they are on the page. They submitted the form. If I want to know the form, I just click that link. We have a contact created from the basic form. Remember, that's the name of our form. And they visited this page as well, which is it's probably the thank you page. Yep, the thank you page. So we can see every page. So this is so helpful because if Test contacts us and says, "Hey, I don't understand this offer. Could you explain to me the plan?" Well, you might be like me and have like 5 million plans, and you're like, "I don't know what offer you're talking about." But if you look at this activity, you can see, oh, okay, they contacted me on in the chat widget on this particular page. So that is probably the offer that they are talking about. So it just gives me a lot more education about this lead so that I know how to best help them. Okay. Now, I also can go into the task. So let's say that I wanted to follow up with Test tomorrow. Maybe I tried to call them and they didn't answer. Whatever the reason is, maybe I just wanted to remind myself of something. I can actually create a task to remind myself or assign a team member a task to do something manual with this particular lead. Now, this is the part that I was telling you is so, so cool that we can add notes to the profile. So this is the note that we added inside of our workflow. And you can see that this, from that step in our workflow, it's added this to the contact. So it says this lead filled out the form on the website. Like I said, you probably have better information that you could relay at this point. Maybe even like some data from the form that you wanted to add there that was like, maybe easier to read or something relevant for yourself. So this is a really cool option there. Now you can also click here and see if this lead has any appointments. If it is, if they've contacted and said, "Hey, I would like to book an appointment," or "I don't remember what time my appointment was," you could easily check that there. You also have different documents. So if you had on your form that you wanted them to upload, maybe some logos, if they're already a client and you need to, access those forms, all of that is attached to the profile here, and you can even add forms by clicking here. Now, if they have made any purchases inside of your account, you can actually look at any transactions, subscriptions, and invoices here. And you can even click here and charge, create like a impromptu invoice there to charge them if you're having that conversation and they're like, yep, sign me up, I'm ready to go. You have the ability to do that there. Okay. Now, if you have if you have multiple, ways of contact, like a phone number and their Instagram page and all of that stuff, you'll have the ability to respond to them here in this area. Right now, with this lead, we only have the email address, so that's why email is coming up. But we would have the ability if there are other avenues or channels were connected to their profile, we would be able to respond to them in any of those ways here. Okay. So super, super cool. All of the things that you can do. If you had to respond here and maybe you wanted to schedule the response, you could even do that as well. You could, of course, just like any other email sender, you can attach files, links, images, you can insert emojis, insert any template snippets that you have. So if you're just saying the same thing over and over again, you could just add a template, request payment, and then you can click here and then of course use any of the custom values or trigger links inside of your email that you wanted to use there. Okay. So lots of really good information, lots of really good ways of following up and organizing and actually having some really useful information about your client when they are contacting you. Okay. So tomorrow, we're going to talk all about the nourishing of the leads and how you can continue to follow up with them, and make sure that your business is top of mind. Even if they are requesting quotes from 95 other companies, you are the one who's going to follow up. It's shocking how many businesses do not follow up. So if you are the one doing it, chances are you're the one getting the sale. Okay. So thank you all so, so much for joining me. Remember, if you're not a HighLevel member yet and you want to join my team, go to bridgetbartlett.com. I have more bonuses and everything to offer you than probably anybody on the planet. So I look forward to working with you. Thank you all so, so much for joining me. I really appreciate it. Go make your vision a reality. Bye. Thank you so much for joining us for today's training. If you have any questions, you can join us for open office hours starting right now at bridgetbartlett.com. It's free and open to everyone, so I'll see you there.